lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DePrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the move. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DePrima. Go sis. First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DePrima. This show is called First Things First, and my first thing today and every day is prayer, giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. Let's go. We got a radio show to do around here. We got a lot to talk about. We got a stream to do on YouTube at KBLA 1580. We got comments to make. You get to weigh in and talk smack if you like, or shine light. That's always appreciated. At all the social medias, we're at KBLA 1580. KBLA, like black without the C and the K. Really easy to remember. KBLA 1580. That's where we're streaming right now on YouTube. That's the address everywhere. And of course, I'm at DePrima Radio. DIPRIMA and then radio. And I invite you to weigh in there or join the comments in the YouTube chat. Wow. Always the delegation is in there dropping knowledge and having fun. And I hope you will join them today or whenever day you can, whenever day you have the bandwidth at work and on our many travels. So the way we do things on a Talking Point Tuesday, hour one, we look local, what's going on the left coast side of town as it connects and interconnects to the whole wide world and beyond. Hour two, we do national, international, and beyond. In the third hour, we do a deep dive on a hot topic, etc. Today, we'll be joined in hour two by Lenny McAllister, who's one of our new Republican friends, to do that Talking Point Tuesday conversation. Sort of a bipartisan moment, if you will. And right now, it is me, you, and the microphone telephone. Miles is here, too, of course. Miles Lowe. Molly Bell will be happy, Miles, because you got your Do Better Network shirt on, that merch. And I know, where can we get that, Miles? Do you have it online somewhere?
You gotta holler at me, man. These are custom-made 101s. These are handmade, hand-pressed up.
Really?
Yes, ma'am. Shout out to my auntie at Script Tees from Alabama. Got them pressed up, custom-made. So holler at me, and I'll hook you up with one. But these were supposed to be given away to Africa last year. I was supposed to give away a bunch of clothes, but they didn't come in in time. So.
Oh, I got you. Well, there's always our trip in a few months. Oh. It's always our trip to Zambia and Botswana. It's interesting. I think a lot of people are scared to leave the country right now.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm excited for it too. And I was more scared last year because I was worried that they wouldn't let me back in here, the Trump administration. But my dear friend, Melina Abdullah, said, well, if they snatch you, you could always broadcast from inside ICE lockup, which I thought was a great idea if I could figure out how to smuggle my phone in. But anyway, they did not detain me. They let me back in. And in a way, of course, I took precautions. I took everything off my phone, and some people are using burner phones. I understand that is not recommended because if you have a burner phone, they assume that you're a terrorist. Like, they assume you have something to hide. And so I didn't go that route. in any case, I'm not going to live in fear. That's what I've decided. Whether it's me speaking my mind, going to protests, talking my ish on this radio show, I'm not going to live in fear. That's not how I want to live my life. And so, bulletin, reminder, if they do put me in custody, I'm not suicidal. I talk a lot of smack, but I meditate every day and I work out and stuff. So I process my things. So, if I come up missing, it's because they took me out. It's not because I took myself out. Just for the record, we are not going to live in fear, no matter how cray the cray gets. Miles, I didn't even see you wiping your phone or anything. You seemed like pretty calm about traveling.
I'm kind of the same way. I'm more worried about once you get over there getting on that type of service, them getting into your phone than the airport going through your phone.
But once you're over there, you're subject to whatever the African government is. And at this point, that's probably safer than our government.
Ooh, I didn't think about it like that. Because, I ain't gonna lie. It was corrupt as soon as we got off the plane out there. We saw that and felt that, but it's corrupt for real here, too.
Yeah. And that really varies a lot from country to country, right? At least that's been my experience. But it's funny, though, because there were a couple places, I think it was in Kenya, which was the year before last, and it wasn't under the Trump administration, where people were getting asked for tips or donations, really bribes. And I think everyone except me, or mostly there was a few of us that didn't get asked. I think it's maybe because they have more like of a hierarchy, and with chronologically gifted women, they don't try it as much. Black women in particular, moms and grandmas there have a little bit more respect.
You say you feel like they didn't try it as much with the older women?
Yeah.
And they tried it with who they try it with the men?
The men and the young women. Mm-hmm.
But from my recollection, the older women, those were the ones who were really the ones who were quick to give out the money in our group.
Yeah, that's true.
So they were like some of them, not gonna say names, but they were literally like offering money.
Yeah, well, that's different than being hit up for a bribe. Okay. You know what I mean? If you're like, oh, look at the children, let me pull out. Yeah, we don't do that. If you're traveling, it's not just Africa, anywhere. Just don't whip out $100 bills and start handing them out to people. You got to work with a charitable organization or do this quietly indoors in someone's house. Yeah, that created some havoc in a couple places. Right. But in any case, I think we're going to have a lovely but smaller trip this year because folks are either afraid to travel or everything's too expensive right now.
Right. And that should make it, I guess, probably funner, though.
It's really fun. The first year we went in 2016, we went to Ghana and Ethiopia. And it was just 35 of us, I think. And it was really nice because, it's always really nice, but it was more intimate and everybody got to, have more space on the bus. And so, if you want to go, it is not too late. We have had, we've never had room this late. So if you want to go, it's a perfect time to join us. I think. I also think everyone wants to go to Ghana because they've heard of it and because Steve Harvey went there and Stevie Wonder went there and all of that. But the fact is, Ghana's nice. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed Ghana, but I like going places where not everybody goes and where you learn and see things that not everybody's learned and seen. And from my understanding, Zambia is one of the most underrated places you can visit.
And this is your first time going to both countries?
Yeah. I was right next door in South Africa, and I was literally looking down the road going, oh, Botswana's right there. I want to go, but we didn't have time. And when we first started our trips to Africa, Dr. Gerald Horn said, Zambia. Go to Zambia, and we just never had gotten around to it. So, Dr. Gerald Hornby knowing things. So.
What would you say Zambia and Botswana is known for besides the waterfall?
Well, I think people don't really know much about them. That's why, that's why people don't go. My understanding is that Botswana is some of the most untouched and beautiful natural landscape left in Africa, because it's not, people are starting to discover it. It's not just iShow speed. It's a lot of it is Europe. The U.S. doesn't travel there as much, but Germany, France, mostly Germany, France, and some others, and Asia. See a lot of Asian tourists.
Okay.
They've discovered a lot of Africa, Ghana. Even when we were in Zimbabwe, there were so many German tourists. So I think Botswana is known for natural beauty, for the safaris, for the fact that it was the headquarters of the ANC when they were fighting against apartheid in South Africa. And just because that southern region over there, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Zambia, their food is so good.
Yeah.
It's just really delicious food and friendly people. I mean, I think one of the things I've learned is that when you go places that are less trendy, the people are kinder because they're less tapped into the tourist hustle.
Right. They in for a treat this summer then. They're going to get 25, 35 black Americans going to come and have a good time in their city. That's what's up.
For sure.
Yeah. Geopolitically, how are the countries in your mind?
City, well, the good thing, that's one of the reasons we chose those two countries, is they're very calm, no drama, no wars. I hopefully, it stays that way. I know that Botswana turned down the health deal that Trump is pushing right now on African countries, since they took away the USAID funds, which helped pay for AIDS and HIV medicine and malaria medication and other kinds of supplies, essential supplies that many, not just in Africa, many countries around the world, less wealthy nations, usually less wealthy because the West has stripped their resources away, but many of those countries now are in free fall from a health standpoint because the U.S. has pulled away all food aid and the medical aid. And so what Trump is doing is he's now going around to these less cash-rich countries and demanding that they turn over their minerals in exchange for medicine. So basically what he's saying is, I'll give you 20 million or 30 million or whatever that you could use to buy the medicines that your people need, but I'm going to need your mineral wealth. And so it's much more of a stick-up kind of a situation. It's much more sort of the mafia diplomacy that this administration believes in. It's kind of like what they were doing or are doing with Greenland. Stick them up. We want your minerals, and we'll give you some paltry sum that is not at all the equivalent of what those minerals are worth. So Botswana turned that down, and typically when people turn down the Trump administration, they get repercussions. So I'm hoping they're so busy with all these other countries that they're extorting that they won't bother little Botswana.
Right.
But yeah, so it's not too late to go, and if you want to come, I'd love for you to come with us. But if you don't come, me and Miles are going to be enjoying an intimate and lovely trip. And then, of course, Zambia is known for Lukasa, the big city there, which is their capital city, and we'll be going there. And like many Southern African nations, they've got great beads, beads and souvenirs, lots of the waist beads and the various different kinds of beads, like we saw when we went to South Africa. Beads,
Okay.
beads, beautiful beads.
I'm curious to see what because every different country has their own type of Afro beats. I want to see what the music sounds like down there. That's going to be fly.
Yeah.
What language do they speak? I got to get my Duolingo up. What language are we going to speak out here?
Well, in Southern Africa, mostly people will speak English.
Okay.
I don't know. In every African nation, there's dozens of tribal or ethnic languages, if not hundreds. Nigeria literally has over 200. I understand that you can speak Swahili there, but honestly, when I was in South Africa and Zimbabwe, they did not speak Swahili, even though the tourist brochures said that they would. But they didn't. I think it's I think it's a new initiative that they're trying to implement, getting people to speak Swahili in Southern Africa so they can speak more throughout the region. But I don't think it's really caught on yet. Not like in Tanzania, where in Eastern Africa, where Swahili is common. In fact, but I think we can find out. I don't know what the tribal languages. We can find out the predominant tribal languages, and then try to maybe learn a little bit. English is the official language of Zambia, and I think of Botswana. I have to check. But what I know is that those Southern African nations, they tend to know English, and they tend to know. Oh, it's English also, official language.
We good then.
Yeah, so, but you'll be, of course, wherever you go in Africa, they're speaking something that's not English,
right,
that I wish I knew. Anyway, 800-920-1580. If you want to call me, you're welcome in all day. We've got a lot to talk about. We are KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for starting your morning off with a voice that speaks truth to power and the powerless, getting to the heart of what matters most in our community. This is where authentic conversation meets real action. From breaking news and politics to culture and community solutions, this is where you hear perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. This is where we come together, get informed, and make change happen. You're inside First Things First with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Good morning, sunshine. You make my day. All the women who independent, throw your hands up at me.
This March, we're turning up the volume on the women who changed everything. KBLA Talk 1580 is proud to celebrate Women's History Month, honoring the trailblazers, truth tellers, and game changers who shaped our world, our culture, and our community. From the freedom fighters to the firsts, from the boardroom to the front lines, from the unsung to the unforgettable. All month long, we're celebrating the stories, the voices, and the conversations that remind us that women, Black women, have always led the way. Don't miss a moment. This is our moment. This is our story. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580, Los Angeles' home for the conversations that matter.
I'm your girl, you're my girl, we're your girls. Won't you know that we love you?
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong?
I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code MOVE to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money, so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code MOVE to borrow up to $10,000. Use code MOVE to borrow up to $10,000.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
Wow. Yeah. I just saw this story. I don't know how I missed this. Well, I do know how I missed this. I was catching up on my sleep yesterday, Miles. Don't I look well rested? But
Right.
finally. But I didn't see the story that these folks are suing Michael Jackson's estate. So here we go again. This family, the Cascios, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but they were supposedly his secret second family, and they traveled with him on tour. And now they have filed a lawsuit against his estate, saying that he sexually abused several of them. There were 4 siblings, 4 or 5, and they're saying that that Michael Jackson groomed them and drugged them and raped them and sexually assaulted them. Okay, so there's 5 of them, but 4 of them are party to the lawsuit, and that this went on for 10 years, that it started when one of them was only 7, and that he gave them wine and hard liquor to get them to do sexual acts. I don't know what to say about this. I have a really strong sort of intuitive radar about people who are sexual abusers, probably because I was sexually assaulted myself. And I kind of, I don't know. There's a creepiness even about people who are really buttoned up. And I just, I can't listen to R. Kelly's music anymore. I know he made great songs. I loved them at one time, but I can't listen to it because it creeps me out. And he gives those creepy vibes. I don't feel like anyone's music should be banned. I feel like each of us as consumers and ethical humans have to make our own decisions, what we listen to and what we don't. It's different for politicians, right? If you're a politician and you're a pedophile or a rapist or a sex assaulter, as we have our president, was it adjudicated sexual assaulter? That's different. You shouldn't be in office. You should, but as musicians, you pick and choose your music. I've never had that feeling about Michael Jackson, and I remember having a huge argument with my then husband because he said no, he thought that he was, and I thought that he wasn't. In any case, I also always push back on people who say, why did they wait so long, right? Because there could be any number of reasons. One of the main ones is shame, right? No one wants to be labeled and attacked for something that happened to you that you have no control over. But I just hate that this is happening when Michael Jackson is dead. And yes, the estate will defend the case, but he's not there to speak for himself and defend himself. And because he was exonerated in other cases that were brought against him. I just hate this so much. Especially happening right now against the background of the Epstein files, where the Justice Department put out a photo that showed Michael Jackson in a picture with Epstein, but this was not on his island, not on his plane, not at his house. It was at a charity fundraiser. And when people come up to you and you're famous and you're at a charity fundraiser or anywhere, what do? You take a picture. I've taken pictures with hundreds of people who I don't know and some who I do because they asked, and why not? And so that was really sleazy of the Trump administration. And now for this lawsuit to follow in the middle of this Epstein frenzy that we're in, it's all bad. The suit says one of the things they accuse him of is raping and molesting a child at Elizabeth Taylor's house in Switzerland and Elton John's house in the United Kingdom. And neither Elizabeth Taylor's estate nor Elton John have commented on this. Again, you have to wonder how the family, the grown family, not the little kids, let these children travel with this man unsupervised, or any celebrity. It's really sad, though. Here we go, and we shall see. I guess they will have their day in court. 800-920-1580, that's the number. If you want to talk about anything going on in the world, I'm here for that. We've got news, traffic, and sports, then more, only right here.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Alexandria Ikamoni with BIN News Now. An explosion has been heard at the U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia. CNN is reporting that the embassy was hit by 2 suspected Iranian drones. Vice President J.D. Vance says he did not believe Iran's claims it was enriching uranium for purely civilian purposes. Vance said the Iranians claimed having enrichment for civilian purposes is a matter of national pride.
And so we would say, okay, that's interesting, but why are you building your enrichment facilities 70 feet underground? And why are you enriching to a level that's way beyond civilian enrichment?
Jury selection has begun in the U.S. government's trial against Live Nation in New York City. The Department of Justice says the world's largest ticket provider has driven up prices for fans of concerts, sports, and theater. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Now is the time to save on an award-winning Nissan at the Nissan Now sales event, featuring the Rogue, Pathfinder, Frontier, and more. Don't wait. These offers are going fast. Shop your Southern California Nissan dealers and NissanUSA.com today.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers bounced back from a 17-point deficit in the third quarter Monday night at Golden State and pulled away for a 114-101 victory. Kawhi Leonard led the Clippers with 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. Darius Garland made his Clippers debut Monday night. Garland had 12 points in 23 minutes off the bench. Garland had been sidelined with a foot injury since the February 5th trade that brought him from Cleveland in exchange for James Harden. Garland is on a minutes restriction. When he's cleared by the Clippers medical staff to get more playing time, he will become the team's new starting point guard. The Clippers are home Wednesday against Indiana. The Lakers are back in action tonight against New Orleans at Crypto.com. The Lakers appear to have found some rhythm in their offense. They won their last 2 games by an average margin of 26 points. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with the world. African Focus Incorporated is a community-based organization whose mission is to bring Africans and African Americans together, lead charitable initiatives on the motherland, and educate people from all walks of life on the beauty, legacy, and opportunity of Africa's 54 nations. And it's that time once again when African Focus is teaming up with KBLA Talk 1580 for our 8th annual African Focus Trailblazers Tour. Travel with us in 2026 when we're headed to the southern African nations of Zambia and Botswana for a historical, cultural, and vacation tour led by me, Dominique DePrima, Cultural Ambassador for African Focus Incorporated. Enjoy luxurious accommodations, conscious fellow travelers, shopping, adventures, cultural tours, wildlife safaris, and a giant waterfall, one of the world's 7 wonders, along with a chance to be of service at an orphanage on the continent. Become an AFI trailblazer by exploring the motherland with a nonprofit organization that has members in Africa and America to help roll out the red carpet for you, and together we'll make a difference and have fun doing it. For more information, visit africanfocus.org or call 310-676-7300. That's 310-676-7300 or africanfocus.org. Whether it's stateside or exploring the diaspora, we're with you every step of the way. African Focus and KBLA Talk 1580. Come go with us.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay, one more thing I wanted to say about the Michael Jackson situation. Apparently, there was an agreement, a settlement agreement made between this family, the Cascio family, and Jackson, where he was paying each of the 5 siblings $690,000 a year for 5 years. And now, basically, what they want is they want more money. And these are the same. This is the same family that was on Oprah defending Michael Jackson and saying that they were speaking out. This is in 2010. They were defending him, saying that they were coming forward as his secret family only because he was getting a raw deal in the press, and they wanted to defend him. Now they're saying that they got tricked into signing something and they want a lot more money. Attorney Marty Singer says it's a desperate money grab. We shall see. Let's go to Derek calling us from Colorado. Good morning.
Yeah, Dominique, that is really good that you're going to Botswana. I'm really happy for you. I have a cousin next year. She's going to be going to South Africa, and I recommended her she try Botswana. I think is safer, and of course they speak English, and it has good governance, meaning that you're not going to get a lot of corruption and everything. One thing about Botswana is I was really impressed is they were able to send all their children to school, K to 12, which is very rare in parts of Africa. Yeah. I mean, K to 12. I mean, good governance, and considering that they were like Singapore in the 1960s, very poor. And now they're very I don't know about wealthy, but they're getting up there as far as middle income. And I think they got $12 billion from the country of China. They're helping them build up their infrastructure.
I'm not familiar with that number, but China is spreading money all around Africa. They are the kinder, gentler colonizers.
Yes, but like I said, it's one place I like you to try is Eswatini. It's a small country in Africa, and they speak English there too. It's surrounded by South Africa, and I think it borders Mozambique. You might want to look at that country too next time you do that, okay?
Absolutely. Well, Derek, I'm trying to go to all 54 African countries before I kick the bucket. I want to see them all.
Yeah.
And I got a lot more to go to because I've only been to 9, so... But I hadn't heard that about the dollar amount with China, but it's not surprising. I do know that Botswana is the country where Prince Harry took Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, when he was trying to romance her, and they end up getting engaged not too long after a long romantic trip to Botswana. And supposedly Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are going there for their honeymoon.
Yeah, but it's a very well-run country, and people won't have their hands out when you get to the store and everything. But one thing I do like about the fact they've been able to do is that they've been able to take their natural resources, and they've been able to, with good governance, educate their people. And sometimes it could be heartbreaking being an American black person when you hear all these African countries. I mean, they have, who was that guy who was in Zaire? I mean, had $5 billion. Half of his people were starving to death.
Yeah, but you got to remember that why are those people there? They're there because the United States gets rid of the duly and righteously elected leaders, the United States and European nations, the so-called Western Bloc nations, because they want to control the resources, so they get these neo-colonialist puppet governments that they can control who tend to be corrupt, and that's why they're there. And that's what breaks my heart, because then we say, oh, Africa has bad governance. Why? Why do they have bad governance? Because we kill or drive out or undermine their leadership, and the list is very long. What we did in Venezuela, what we did in Iran last weekend is not something new. It's just more extreme. It's more extreme because Trump is bombing more places than any other president, including places that we've never attacked before, like Nigeria. But I mean, I think, not that it makes it okay that people are starving and corrupt people, leaders like our president, are stuffing billions of the people's money in their pockets. Not saying that makes it okay, but I do think it's important to keep that in perspective, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I said. I mean, I think you'll, based on everything I've read about Botswana, I think you and whoever goes with you, I may even go with you to Botswana, because it's most important thing. It's safe too.
Yeah, it's
good
very
governance.
You're right. And that's one of the things I always look at when we choose where we're going the next year. It's like, what is the geopolitical outlook? You know, because some places can be safe, like the U.S., pretty safe in 2023. Maybe not as much now, right? So you got to keep up with what's happening. And that's one of the main reasons in this turbulent global time that we chose Botswana and Zambia, well-governed, relatively quiet, no current wars or border disputes. And so, yeah, safe. And I'm reading, Derek, that they just discovered rare earth minerals, critical minerals. A Canadian mining company just discovered them in Botswana, which is why the president suddenly offered them a health deal, which they did not sign. So follow the minerals. I guess that's the moral of this story. Follow the minerals, and you'll see why our president has a sudden interest. If it's oil or minerals, suddenly we care about what's happening with their governments.
One question I had to ask you: when you're choosing countries to go to,
yes,
do you look at the healthcare system and everything else like that? Because some of those places, I've been told, some of those African countries, their healthcare isn't up to snuff and everything. Because if you do get sick or something like that happens, God forbid, I mean, you want to have hospitals. And,
yeah, we typically do look at that, and we also encourage people to get travel insurance, because good travel insurance will helicopter you somewhere. Most of the places we travel, they have healthcare, in some cases better than what we have here in the United States, which ain't hard. But if we're in a remote location, like when we're out in the bush, when we went to Masai Mara in Tanzania, you're out in the bush, ain't no hospital over there. You're out there with the Maasai people and the cattle. So in that case, you would need, you would need travel insurance so that you could be airlifted somewhere nearby quickly. What I will say is we've had a couple of experiences. Somebody fell when we were in Ghana. A lady who was trying to get the perfect selfie while using one of those mobile, electric wheelchair type things. She fell trying to get a selfie, and Ghanaian officials gave us a police escort to get her to the hospital faster, and the care that she got was top notch. Well, yeah, it's not every day they see a group of Black Americans, tourists. They are very welcoming. They're so happy to see us, and we're over there spending money, and people they want to take care of us. We had a situation, I think it was last year or the year before, where someone in our party fainted at the airport from dehydration, and she was dieting, let me put it that way, and she fainted, and they had, well, not only did we have 3 or 4 nurses traveling with us as part of our traveling party who attended to her immediately, but they had a whole doctor there. This was at the airport within minutes. I don't think you would see that at a U.S. airport. I don't think at LAX, if you pass out, you're going to have a doctor attending to you within 5 minutes. I seriously doubt it.
Okay, but like I said, like I said, my understanding too, the healthcare is pretty decent too.
I'll have to check that out. You know me. I bring my herbs and vitamins and things, but I also do get travel insurance just in case. Any country. I don't care if I'm in Italy, I'm going to get travel insurance because I don't want to have to rely on being an outsider in a healthcare system to which I don't belong. But Derek, if you're considering, or anyone that's listening is considering, anyone in our delegation going, you can call African Focus at 310-676-7300, 310-676-7300, and find out, leave a message, find out if it fits your requirements and any questions that you might have. That's the next step. And Derek, thanks for that insight. Now I'm going to be looking up. Now I'm going to be Googling the Chinese investment in Botswana. I know when we went to Senegal, it was significant. They had redone the sewer system. They had redone this massive highway that goes all the way around the Dakar, which is the capital there, which is a coastal highway because Dakar is right at the ocean's edge, kind of like a LA or San Francisco. And they had built a beautiful theater, cultural arts center downtown Dakar. And so that's why I say kindler, gentler, because of course they're going there. They want minerals. They want resources. They want part of Africa's vast wealth. But at least they build infrastructure to make people more receptive to their presence. I hope those deals don't deplete those African nations, but we know that they do that. And so I saw the evidence of that when I was in Senegal, and it was quite impressive. Let's go to Carl, calling us from Los Angeles. Hi, Carl.
Hey, Dominique, good morning. I was going to call yesterday, but you was on a roll. I said, I'm not going to cut in on her.
I was on a roll. I must have been sleep deprived. So what's on your mind today, Carl?
Yeah, hey, no, just real briefly. You know anything about the mayor of Los Angeles is trying to get one of those new gang intervention programs going, one of those new grid programs going or not? I mean, you can answer that after I talk to you about this $291 million that's coming to the homeless here in Los Angeles that's supposed to prevent people from losing their units. And, I'm hoping that when the governor brings it down here to Los Angeles, it won't have to go to all them lawsuits that the city of Los Angeles has out right now.
Well, when you have money that's designated, and I'm not sure which pot you're talking about because the state has been funding lots of different homeless initiatives here in the city of Los Angeles. The voters have funded a bunch of others, but that money is designated for what it's designated for. They can't just go, oh, we're going to pay off lawsuits. The sad thing about that is those lawsuits, whether it's homeless or our most expensive line item, which is police killing and beating people up, and sheriffs doing that, or where we have to pay for it. We have to pay, to settle those cases. Hold on, let me finish my sentence, Carl. It comes out of the general fund. So what ends up happening is, what it really takes away from is filling potholes, fixing streetlights. You know what I'm saying? It's not that it's going to take away from it. I'm glad that it doesn't take away from helping the homeless, but it takes away from something, and that's the general fund. We have less money to make our city beautiful, usable, and workable. That's all. Okay, what were you getting ready to say?
Yeah, well, the governor said it's supposed to be for preventing people from losing their units, from not being put out the units if it comes down to an eviction or something like that. But he said it's for people that's so they won't end up back on the street.
Right, and here in the city of LA, Karen Bass is the one. Mayor Karen Bass is the one who started that. She started. I can't think of the name of the website right off my top, but I'll look it up. And they have funds that help people not get evicted. They have money that helps people get a lawyer, because what we found out is that most people who are evicted from their homes are going up against landlords who do have lawyers. So they will provide, in certain instances, they'll provide lawyers. They'll help you pay your rent in certain situations for a couple months, because what we found is that it's much less expensive to keep people in their housing than to get them back off the streets once they become unhoused.
Okay, I see. Well, I hope the mayor don't come up with another COINTEL grid program because that's awful.
You know what?
Talk to you later,
Okay, you
Dominique.
know what? You
Enjoy.
don't. I know a lot about grid, and that statement
Yeah.
is wrong. So if you want to talk
Yeah.
smack about grid, then don't just hit and run. Because
Okay, I'm here.
we can
I'm
go
here.
back and forth on that. Because I know a thing or two about grid. When I was married, my then husband was over that, and part of the reason that thing got now. Is it where it needs to be? Does it need renovation? Probably. But grid is not
Well,
COINTEL
she's not
Pro,
gonna give the.
and it's not
she's-
trash.
she's
It's
not-
part of the reason why the city has violence levels not seen since 1960s. Okay, she's not what?
Well, I hope she doesn't give the nonprofit part to people that lives out of town because there's people that's trying to get that program started and they don't even live
Okay,
in Los Angeles.
I think you don't even know what you're talking about, but stay on the phone, Carl, and let's see if you do, because maybe we're confusing apples and oranges. The GRID program has been in effect for years. It is not a nonprofit. It is part of the city government. But we'll keep the conversation going when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
Getting around LA doesn't have to cost a lot. Metro has fares that fit every budget. 20 free rides for qualified riders through the Life Fare program. Free passes for students with GoPass and affordable options for everyone in between. Wherever you're going, Metro's got you covered. Visit metro.net/fare programs. Looking for a purposeful and passionate way to make a difference in your community? Volunteer with our Senior Medicare Patrol and help prevent Medicare fraud. S&P volunteers work in their community educating peers about healthcare fraud and how to prevent and detect it. Free training starts soon. Check us out online or at an S&P open house near you. We're on a mission to stop fraud. Join our team. You make a difference. Visit caspvolunteer.org.
They call it progress, but progress has a price. Land once held in black hands, taken, stolen, erased. Acres paved into highways, fields burned. Homes replaced by parking lots and broken promises. Every deed lost was a dream deferred. We talk about millionaires, but what about the millionaires that never were? The farmers whose soil was seized. The families who watched their inheritance disappear. The wealth that never had a chance to grow because its roots were ripped from the ground. They took the land, but never the legacy, because the soil remembers, and so do we. Every story matters. Our mission is to collect, preserve, and amplify these stories. If this is part of your family's history, visit blacklandlost.org/share your story and help bring us closer to justice.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. 10 Toes In serves as a mentorship and domestic violence prevention program. They support, educate, and empower couples during and after incarceration. They assist male returning citizens to re-enter society successfully and to help them maintain a healthy relationship with their romantic partner. They offer a mentorship support group for formerly incarcerated men. 10 Toes In teaches its Intimate Relationships 101 curriculum at male prisons throughout the state of California. They host sister support group meetings for women who are intimately involved with incarcerated and formerly incarcerated men. 10 Toes In is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. To access their services or make a donation, please visit them online at 10toesin.org or find them on Facebook or Instagram. They are healing lives through relationships. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Be heard. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay. Okay, Carl, explain to me what you're saying, because I don't. I do want to say that I remembered what it is. It's called Stay Housed LA. You go to stayhousedla.org, housed, HOUSED, stayhousedla.org. And actually, they have a new application cycle open now. It's between February 9th and March 11th. And you can apply, either tenants or landlords. You can apply. You can get help to stop from being evicted. They can tell you what your rights are. In certain cases, they'll help you get a lawyer. In certain cases, they will help you with rent. And this is something that the Mayor Karen Bass, started. So if the governor is hopping on the bandwagon, good for him. And as Morris says, good for him and his SAT scores. But the mayor started this.
Yeah, because those people really need to stay in their units, because, they got that emergency housing voucher. They talking about setting that program down. It's only 2,765 people on that emergency housing voucher list that's still living in their units. And
well,
apparently
2 million people have used this program. That's according to them. I don't know. I haven't independently verified it. 27,000 people connected with legal services. I think it's a really smart thing. It's one of my more favorite things that this mayor has done, because people have been talking about it for a long time. When you talk about GRID, the Gang Reduction and Youth Development Program is a part of the city government. And it was stood up after the work of then council member Martin Ludlow, who I actually worked for a couple summers on the Summer of Success in Baldwin Village, which was the template. And that's why I know, not just because the guy I was married to was over GRID, but because I helped create it by doing the work on the ground. I wasn't the leader of it. That would be Martin Ludlow. That would be Karen Bass. When she was in the assembly, that would be, actually, she might have been over at Community Coalition then. That would be Attorney Connie Rice and Bruce Saito from the Conservation Corps, and Dr. Bob Ross. So now,
well, you know how many people are out there wanting that contract? That contract will make you.
What are you talking about?
They want that contract.
It's not a contract. It's a city department.
It's just a city department contract. There's no contract.
Maybe you're thinking of the county. Are you thinking of the county, Carl? Because the county.
No, city of Los Angeles.
Okay, so you're saying they want a contract with GRID. That could be what you mean.
Yeah.
Because there are gang intervention organizations that work under GRID. So maybe that's what you're talking about. GRID itself is not a contract. That's a city program. It's not. It's part of city government now. Thanks to people like then council member Martin Ludlow, who had an ad hoc gang committee, and we saw, we stood it up with Summer of Success on the ground. I was there every night until 2 a.m. I saw it with my own eyes. I helped build it. Now, from what I understand, to some degree, it's being co-opted. Law enforcement, which used to hate it, is now taking it over in some ways, and I don't love that, but I haven't done a deep dive on it, so I don't, recently. But you're probably talking about gang intervention prevention organizations who work under GRID to bring peace to certain neighborhoods where they have expertise.
Well, if they can make peace happen, it'd be a great idea.
They are making peace happen. This is one area where we have seen, the data is there. You can look at it. Where we've seen incredible drops in homicides and violent crimes. That's why the city now, that's why when I'm leaving Oakland, I'm saying I can't wait to get back to LA where it's safe, which is something I never in my life thought I'd be saying.
Okay, Dominique, I see you got a minute left. Enjoy. Thank you very much.
All right. As far as GRID contractors from out of town, maybe there are some. I'll look into it, Carl. If they are, I'll let you know. I think it would be tough, though, because the thing about gang reduction and youth development in the city of LA is you have to know the neighborhood. That's the job. To be a gang intervention worker here, many of them were, formerly active gang members in those communities, and that's why they know the people, that's why they have the respect, that's why they're able to be effective, right? And so, I mean, while it's possible, and I'm not sure if that's happening, maybe it is, I need to look into it, Carl, so you might be onto something there. In general, those people that are working under grid with their community-based organizations to provide gang intervention services, those folks are from here, and that is exactly why they qualify for those jobs. All right, we've got news, traffic, and sports, and then more. We've got our Republican friend joining us for a little Talking Point Tuesday on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Alexandria Ikamoni with BIN News Now. An explosion has been heard at the U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia. CNN is reporting that the embassy was hit by 2 suspected Iranian drones.